Okay, so quickfire Q&A from some of our subscribers. Jack is going to fire some questions at me and Mark, and hopefully, we're not going to come to fisting.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you reckon? So go for it, Jack.
So I've got a few things written down, but we've got a controversial one later, but we'll see how that pans out.
Fighting talk.
But so first one we've got written down is because obviously you operate your business in the north, you operate your business in the south, London area. Did you say Chingford area?
Chingford, Woodford, and there.
Southern Monkey.
Yeah.
Southern Fairy even.
I prefer Southern Softies, but it is what it is.
I thought it was Northern Fairy.
Northern Monkey, innit?
Northern Monkey. Southern Softie. So what would you say, though, the main differences are operating your businesses in the north versus the south? What do you think?
You want to take that one first, being the south? Southern Fairy.
Yeah, perceived value, I think, is a big one. I think, without a doubt, there's a difference in the salary scale.
Yeah.
Which makes expendable income a little bit more flexible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll say so.
Doesn't necessarily mean that what's left in the bank at the end of the month is much more.
No.
Because bearing in mind that, wages are generally more, I can charge more for my services, but the cost of my living is substantially more than what it is around here.
I think for me, it's one of those, like you said before, people who live in the south of England tend to have, like you say, more disposable income or earn higher wages. House prices are higher down south, so that has an impact on people's disposable income. Mm-hmm. In the north of England, where we are right now in very lovely Cleveleys, is very close to Blackpool, which, as I've mentioned on previous pods, is like the #1 poorest region of the mainland UK.
Yeah.
So really, wages are lower, house prices are lower, which is why you tend to get a lot of southerners buying property up here.
Yeah.
But from an operational perspective and cost perspective, I probably can't charge as much to my clients, but then my living costs aren't as high either. To be fair, it kind of it
does balance itself out.
There is a trade-off. There is a balance. It's like you could charge higher tickets, but then you could ultimately have higher living costs. So in some respects, it's a massive difference. In other respects, I don't think it makes that much difference at all. The bottom line is, it still has value no matter where you are.
For sure.
But the question is as well, being people with higher incomes down south, are you going to get a chief executive who works 70 hours a week to climb a ladder and clean windows on the 1 or 2 days a week he gets off? Answer, probably not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you've got people in the north of England who are minimum wage, lower disposable income, are they going to be willing to part with their money to clean the windows? Probably not.
Yeah.
And the first thing that people sacrifice when times get hard are the window cleaner and the milkman.
Yeah.
And the gardener. Uh-huh. So, those are the main differences. But ultimately, there's plenty of posh houses. Every area has a millionaire's road, doesn't it? Or we're an affluent area. Yeah. No matter where you are, you're never more than 20 minutes from an affluent area anywhere in the UK. So.
Yeah, because like with me running a recording studio, I wouldn't say it's like a north or south difference, but I think it's just a difference in culture towards money depending on the area as well. So obviously I run my recording studio in Cleveleys, and like you say, it's not far from Blackpool. And the compared to like a London recording studio, people are on lower incomes. So I find like the way I go about selling or getting new bookings, I have to navigate it. I find in Blackpool, conversations around money culturally is a little bit more taboo, whereas I've got a friend who lives in Windsor where obviously there's a lot of wealth, and for him sales and bookings are
his name's not Charles, is it?
But for him sales are really straightforward, and people are a lot more like understanding, he charges this much, he runs a business, and they're more open to it, whereas culturally here, don't know, people sort of view business owners as more predatory from what I've found. Like when I'm working down in London, because I can work anywhere if I've got my laptop and my music stuff, like it's a lot more, send us the invoice, mate, let's get it sorted. Whereas here it's a bit more touchy-feely. And I think it is because people more likely here come from lower income backgrounds.
Yeah, and also I think perhaps I don't know this, this is just me thinking about it. I think in the London area, people are looking at what we do, and they're not looking at the cost.
Yeah.
they're looking at the value of it.
Yeah.
Where I think maybe up here they're looking, well, actually, I can save £8 by doing it myself.
People's value structures are different from north and south. So, like I said before about that chief executive, he's not going to sacrifice his time because he's earning hundreds of thousands of pounds a year.
Exactly.
He's not going to sacrifice his time. His time is worth more than someone who's on minimum wage. And that's not because he's a better person or that anyone in the north is less value. It's that person's, he can earn more, he can make better use of his time earning his hundreds of thousands of pounds a year than some poor guy on minimum wage who's almost like, you know what, I could do without it.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
exactly.
But that applies north and south. So, like I said before, there are affluent areas all over the UK. You are never more than 20 minutes from an area of high value. There's nothing stopping you from starting a business anywhere in the UK. You just need to be able to identify where the high ticket jobs are, or where the most value can be delivered.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's interesting that this podcast is called The Muck and Brass. Obviously, where there's muck, there's brass. That's the old saying, obviously. But when I was starting in window cleaning, there was always like this area that all the window cleaners would try and fight for.
Right.
But what I found was this prestige golden triangle. The value of that service was just going down and down and down. And I literally just turn around, go over there where no one wants to be, and I'm just literally mopping up.
Because you're the only guy.
I'm the only one there.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I'm doing here in Blackpool. Like, I'm the main recording studio in Blackpool. If you want like the same quality service, you go to Manchester. In Manchester, it's a race to the bottom. Every man and the dog's got their own home.
They're competing on price, not value.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, whereas here, like, and people even say to me, it's like, why are you not in Manchester when I can compete? And it's like,
just take yourself out of it.
Exactly. I'm out of it. I pay Blackpool rent, but I also, most of my client base is from Manchester. They're not bothered about the 1 hour train journey. So I reap the benefits of lower costs and I still get the same customer base. So it's like you say, it's just positioning yourself in the right place. Next question I've got is...
You smoking?
Yeah, it's
smoking.
No, we're not on the controversial one
I see a smirk. I see a smirk.
Yeah. But if you guys was to start your businesses from scratch, would you do things exactly the same way or would you go about it a little bit differently?
You first.
You first again?
Yeah.
I would do probably everything the same, just quicker.
Yeah.
It took me, 8, 10, 12 years to learn what I know, but I would have just deployed that all instantly.
Yeah.
I think that's to be honest with you, because I don't really think... I don't regret any of the things I've done in terms of building the business and the way I built it. I think the one thing maybe to consider, not really something that I would change, but I think a lot of people talk about it, is what's the one thing?
Yeah.
Where it's not one thing.
Don't look at things in absolutes.
Yeah.
It's just have a crack at everything.
Yeah.
Do your leaflets, do your door knocking, do your social media, do your website, do your anything that's possible, especially now, everything's so cheap, free in most occasions.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd necessarily do anything different. I think I just would have done everything a lot quicker. It's one of those things, like, I kind of wish that we had this kind of thing when I was coming up.
Yeah.
Because it would have been great to share my experiences as I was going along.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have been the person to pick up a camera and put it on myself, you know? I was scared enough just knocking on the door going,
Yeah.
Do you want your windows clean? Sorry to disturb you. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I can echo what you just said there, basically, but I think it is more, not so much do things differently. I think my mindset would be completely different because you can always benefit from your experiences, right? Yeah. So would I do things differently? I would change the way I think versus how I used to think was, my biggest worry about when I started the business was, am I going to run out of work?
Yeah.
Is there going to be a demand for my, are enough people going to invest in me as an individual to deliver a result for them, right? And even the way I'm speaking is kind of, how can I put it? The way I'm speaking is basically sort of understanding that I have value, and that from the get there'll be more than enough people out there wanting that service. The only question is, will they? How do I convince them that I'm the guy? Right. Yeah. So the mindset would be different, but ultimately the delivery of how I do it, not really. If I'm being honest, what I'd probably do is obviously knowing what equipment is available. I probably controversial. I reckon.
We're going there now, are we?
No. I reckon controversial. I probably would go straight into water-fed pole.
Yeah.
Versus going traditional. The reason why I went traditional was because of that fear.
Yeah.
Of I'm not buying all this kit.
Yeah.
And then having to shift it and sell it. Because here's the thing: you buy a water-fed pole van, it's going to be a damn sight easier to sell an empty van.
Yeah.
Than it is to sell a water-fed pole van.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So my mindset is almost like, well, I'll just test the waters,
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
And the reality is now, knowing the value of that service, I'm almost like, nah, bugger it straight in there. But again, I don't expect a new guy coming in to take that cavalier, buccaneering attitude. No. So the thing is,
that's kind of going back to that saying. I don't know if you've heard it. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? So if you knew, like I knew. We know now this. We can do what we can do. We could build it the way we have.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But the thing is that you don't, as a new guy watching this for the first time, or girl watching this for the first time, will sort of take that on board and sort of say, well, actually, it's all right for you because you've already benefited from that experience. Yeah. But even a new guy watching this now, they almost look like, well, should I invest in that kit? I would say if you're nervous about investing in that kit, then do the sensible thing and test the waters.
Yeah.
Now, if you're asking me what I would do different, let's say, if God forbid, touch wood, that let's say my business fails tomorrow.
Yeah.
3 months from now, I'm fairly convinced that with the right attitude and the right sort of work ethic, I could probably get back to being where I am within a year.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I reckon I could do that, but I can only do that with the benefit of the knowledge that I've gained up to this point.
Yeah.
If you're a new guy taking lessons from me or from Marc or from yourself, I would say test the waters first, err on the side of caution, but understand that you do still have value. You just need to get build up your bank, like courage is a bank account we spoke about the other day.
Yeah.
Courage is a bank account. You have to build up your balance. Don't go overdrawn.
Exactly.
It's like reps and sets, isn't it? It's all very well watching fitness gurus online, but unless you pick up the weight and do the rep, obviously we don't.
This is not the body of a man that says no to cheesecake. FYI.
No, exactly. But you don't get the muscle from watching the information. You only start to develop it once you've felt what it's like to knock on that first door.
Yeah, for sure.
To have that knockback.
100%.
Don't interrupt my EastEnders or Coronation Street as he is up here. Sorry to offend you.
Go on, big lad. What would you do differently? Would you?
I don't know. I'm a strong believer of in fate. So I feel like your path is meant for you in that sort of way.
Hippie, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm like a 65% hippie.
Yo, Dylan.
Yeah. So
peace and love, man.
For me, I remember because I started getting into music when I was 14, and for me, I actually got loads of big opportunities quite early on, and I didn't mess them up. It's just I wasn't equipped at the time to actually really seize them. So I literally first downloaded music software when I was 14, and by the age of 15 I was working with a multi-platinum producer, and he was like, look, I want to take you under my wing, I want to do this, I want to do that. And at the time I just wasn't mature enough or ready, and I was saying yeah to it, but eventually I sort of got not disillusioned, just sort of weaned out, and he ended up working with someone else who had more experience. And I remember at the time I was like, oh, I've messed this opportunity up, I might not get this opportunity again. But now, 7-8 years on, it was like, no, I was meant to sort of come across that, and I was meant to sort of be knocked back by that producer, and then it's made me who I am now. Do you know what I mean? So for example, opportunities that have come my way this year with major labels and things like that, I know, I don't have any anxiety. I know I'm ready for it now. Do you know what I mean?
It's interesting as well because it's interesting as well though because we're so I'm 44 at the end of the year. You're 37,
39.
Yeah, close enough. You're about 23.
23.
23. So the thing is, it's different attitudes.
Baby.
Oh yeah, it's a pup, mate. You've got loads of time left, mate. Yeah, but the thing is though, is the attitudes towards. Our attitudes are different based on our perception, but it's also based, I reckon, on our generation. My generation's different from yours.
Yeah.
I'm 20 years older than you.
Yeah.
I'm a couple of years older than you.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But it's interesting that we all have completely different takes.
Yeah.
And you've got a very fucking millennial hippie.
Yeah, for sure.
vibe.
For sure.
I think what helps is things like this is your generation was able to gather information
Yeah.
from the world.
Yeah.
Whereas you and I, our information
We had
was
to
basically
find it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Had to look
well,
for
it was.
yeah.
I'm talking about going back to when we was his age.
Yeah.
The information that we got was based on who was living in our street.
Yeah.
That was it. And if they were gatekeepers, you weren't getting told shit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And that's what I realised when I kind of like turned that corner and I realised that okay, I can do something with myself here. And I look back and why the fuck did none of you tell me this? You
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
like just fast tracked me
Yeah.
10 years and you didn't say fucking shit.
No, exactly. Yeah, no, I was dead lucky. Like in terms of music production, like I accidentally stumbled into like a few YouTube tutorials. That's what sent me down the rabbit hole because I used to be a right nerdy gamer. So I was always good on computers, but just not musically. And then like I was literally learning from the best, learning from the great straight away. Do you know what I mean? And I'd literally watch the world's best music producers deconstruct how they created a top 20 hit straight away, just like free of charge on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? So like, yeah, in my...
That's something else that I'm a big believer in now. You just said it, free of charge.
Yeah.
Like when I was at school, I wanted to be an architect.
Yeah.
But then I found out you had to stay in school to become, to go to uni and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah.
But what I could have and should have done is just find half a dozen architects nearby, go and speak to them all.
Yeah.
And go and work for free.
Do some recce.
I'd have been in.
Yeah.
Do some recce. Do some information gathering.
Yeah, exactly.
But no one was around to go, Mark, just go and do it for nothing. Get your foot in the door.
Exactly.
I mean, that advice wasn't there.
That's exactly what I did. The first year I was doing production, I didn't even think of money whatsoever. I just loved doing it. And I'd just message producers from Manchester or people that were doing it full time and literally be like, let me drop in sessions for free. I'd just send my own sort of productions round free of charge, not ask for anything. And then slowly I wouldn't charge that customer base, but then when they started to refer me, I'm like, right, well now I'm starting to get word of mouth referrals, I'll start charging. And then I slowly built it like that.
Did you
what
know
I mean?
that music was going to be your thing from a youngish age?
Yeah, to be fair, as soon as I really got into it at age 14. So I played guitar all my life, but do you know one of those things that your parents just make you do and you don't question it, you just sort of do it? Do you know what I mean? Like swimming, like for some kids it's swimming and then like...
Oh God, do I have to?
Exactly. I was like that with guitar and I was just thrown into lessons, but I just stuck at it and I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like, oh, this is my calling. Do you know what I mean? But genuinely, when I bumped into music software, like I said, I used to be a right nerdy gamer. I'd come home from high school, I'd play World of Warcraft from 3 p.m. to midnight every single day without fail. Literally just switched that for production, didn't play a game for like 3 years, and it was just every night just learning production and learning music software.
So I think that's definitely something that's changed over the generations.
Yeah.
Like you and I both said we needed something. What can we do?
But we
just found
we
it.
knew we needed something.
Something,
So
but-
we knew we needed something, but could I put my finger on it? Could I say, that's what I want?
Yeah.
No.
The answer's no, 100%.
But I've noticed
Yeah.
like guys and girls of your generation, not everyone, but there just seems to be more often than not, they've already got an idea of where I'm going.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's down to that you've been able to have that worldwide view where we've been quite limited in some ways based on where we happen to be brought up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And who our family members were.
You can see, there's literally everything you can see. So you realize how much opportunity there is out there, especially like if you're doing something online. Do you know what I mean? And like you say, you can just Google straight away someone that's already smashed it in that space. But to be fair, I still have friends now that are my age and they still don't know what they want to do or where they want to be.
No, it's not everyone.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people our age, unless they definitely wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor or something, typically they end up in a profession just because that's what they needed to do.
Exactly.
Not because they necessarily wanted to do or had a passion for it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, the internet helps. Like what helped me realise, like I learnt quite early, it was like, right, because music's very hard to get into and it's, God, you can be unpaid for so long and things like that. I knew, right, I need to get into this early where there's no risk in my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've got the comfort of living with my parents and things like that. So I knew that there was a short window for me to get into it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas unfortunately a lot of people realise that after they've finished uni and then it's where things get a little bit more serious and they may already started renting and things like that. So but like it was literally, I was pretty much brought up on YouTube, really. Like I was probably the first generation of where I was raised on YouTube, and luckily I was just watching the right stuff. I wasn't watching stuff that rotted my brain away. Like I used to watch this guy called Casey Neistat, and he was like a really like hustle focused vlogger, and he sort of made me realize, right, I've got to find my own thing and do something early. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Just being around the right influences.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Let's go on then.
Right, should we do it?
There's another smirk right
Should
there.
we do it? No,
Right
we'll
there.
do it. We'll do it. So, yeah, I'll leave this up to you.
How many questions are left?
4. So,
Okay, go on.
I've got here traditional trad versus water-fed pole. So obviously, I'll be out of this. I'll just, I'll be the referee. I'll be the referee.
It's like, hang on a minute, is he swinging? No, he's safe, he's safe, he's good. Go on, then.
You take the reins on this one.
If I'm being honest, waterfed pole,
Okay.
hands down. The reason being is because you can scale it. You don't see many multi-vehicle window cleaning businesses that do traditional window cleaning anymore. You don't see guys walking around the streets in teams of like 20 or 30 blokes with ladders like you used to do in the 1930s, 1920s, when there was no better option. Safer, yeah, it's more expensive, but I think it's the better option. And I say this as someone who has done traditional in the past. But again, I went that route because I probably didn't have that. I probably didn't have that self-belief that people would invest in me on a scale large enough to be able to afford waterfed pole at that stage. And it was something it was on my radar. But I thought to myself, well, what I'll do is I'll get to a certain number of customers and then I'll see where the money's at in the bank. And then if I can afford waterfed pole, do it.
Yeah.
Also, I mentioned about like barrier to entry as well. So the thing is going traditional, in some respects, yeah, brilliant, because it's cheap. Anyone can do it. Anyone that's got the stones to go up a ladder can do it and learn the technique. But waterfed pole for me has got to be something that's more replicatable and scalable.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm 19 years in, and I still trad, so you can see where I'm going with that. I didn't on purpose. I didn't have the intention of going waterfed pole. I had zero intention of going waterfed pole. I was going to stay trad because I saw everyone going over, and I was like, actually, I'm just going to stay over here because everyone's gone over there. So that was my little USP by staying trad. And at the time, it was during that credit crunch time, so I was a couple of years in. You had a lot of people like from those higher paying jobs down south that got made redundant. So they've been given like 30, 40 grand redundancy.
So we lost our house in the credit crunch. So
That's quite a big difference.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah. But what these people were doing is like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go and buy a van with all the equipment and the brushes with my redundancy money and start a business. But those disappeared within a couple of years, all these people.
Yeah.
And they weren't actually very good at the job.
Yeah.
So loads of the complaints were, I literally marketed myself as a trad.
Right.
Traditional window cleaning. Because I knew a lot of people weren't happy with the results of the brush because people didn't know what they was doing. They just thought it was just a
Splash and dash.
Yeah.
But then what happened was, and it's actually an interesting turning point that came after that, was a guy, a local window cleaner who got a waterfed pole. He was like, oh, I'm not getting on with this. Like, people don't like it. I'm just going to get rid of it. And I bought it off him for, it wasn't a great setup, but it was like 120 quid or something to get me in the waterfed pole game.
Still low barrier.
It was. And by the time I'd picked up a load of work off the other waterfed pole guys, because they weren't very good, now I'm going to my customers going, yeah, those windows that I've got to climb up your roof to get to, I'm going to use the waterfed pole next time. Or, oh, you're all leads, so I'm going to waterfed pole that, not trad it. And what I found really surprising was no one went, oh my God, no, I don't like that. So I realised it actually wasn't just about the technique that was using, but the person that was doing it made a huge difference to whether someone wanted to continue or not.
I've always said, you don't blame a nail gun if the guy using it is a liability. You blame the technician.
Yeah.
So the thing is why would you blame Waterfed pole on the wind? Why would you blame the Waterfed pole if the window cleaner is not up to operating it? So the thing is, if you're not getting the finish that you desire from Waterfed pole, that's not that's not the tool's fault. It's just your understanding of being able to operate it.
Yeah.
The old saying, only a bad workman blames his tools.
Yeah.
I've yet to see a roofer get blamed for using a nail gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And blame the nail gun, or the nail gun's shit. And it's like, well, no, hang on, it's a tool, mate. The person it's a squidgy organic thing operating it that's fucked it up, not you, not the machine. So I think the same thing goes for traditional. No, it's the same thing for Waterfed pole. But the thing is, as well, it doesn't really matter whether you choose traditional or Waterfed pole. Each has its merits and each has its disadvantages. Can I use Waterfed pole indoors? Yeah, once, before you start really upsetting people. You have a big pool of water on the inside of someone's property. Yeah, I mean, sure, you can do that, but then, to be fair, you could drink bleach. It's just not a really good idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the thing is traditional. I mean, would I do Liverpool John Lennon Airport with traditional?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I wanted to retire on it, it'd take me years.
Yeah.
It'll take me a good long while to do it. But so the thing is it swings and roundabouts. At the end of the day, would you do a corner shop with Waterfed pole? Would you clean a load of signs with Waterfed pole or do traditional? Well, it depends. If it's a 5-minute job with Waterfed pole and, and you've got umpteen jobs that day, well, why not get the Waterfed pole out? But again, if it's a skyscraper or a hotel that's 3 or 4 floors, and I have seen some absolute lemmings online, climbing a ladder 3 or 4 floors because the customer says they want traditional. If the customer told you they wanted you to jump off the M25's bridge, would you?
Yeah.
No, of course not. Use your head.
It's horses for courses, because if you want to go down the trad route, you can build a business that's safe.
And it's a lost skill. It's a lost skill.
For sure.
Fair.
And I love it. I love the
So do you
squeegee.
mainly do it out of the passion of it, and just because you were mentioning in the longer pod before, you're less scale focused and it's more fulfillment, isn't it? And just having autonomy. So yeah, I understand that.
And it's not about like, oh, you earn more money or less money, because I just if I want to be able to trad and take my time and still get paid well, I charge more.
Yeah.
And I've got almost 2 decades behind me that validates my price,
It's fair enough.
Yeah, for sure. To be fair, there is actually a I didn't think there would be, but there is a comparison in music. So there's analog versus digital. So analog recording is like all your old school tape machines and big mixer desks and things like that. And then there's sort of a new wave of music production, which is digital. Yeah, and it's literally like you can now create a top 10 hit with literally a laptop and a 30 quid mic. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of like, so I'm digital music mainly a digital music producer, and I pick it because it's just way more efficient. And like it's more, I'd say it is efficiency and business focus, because I can just get more people in and out. But there is those purists, and they'll charge more, and they'll sit there for 5 hours on a tape deck and playing around with.
I don't know much about your industry at all, but I would imagine it's a lot more easier. It's easier for you to store X amount of gigabytes of digital data than it is to have a safe full of tapes,
for sure,
and stuff like that. And it's and it's also easier to splice one with the other if it's electronic than it is to use a proper tape deck or something like that. So
yeah, for sure. But it's still a
skill.
Yeah, of course. But like, there's also like you've got the analog purist that like basically say anyone who's a digital musician isn't a musician, and like I bet you probably have that in the
for sure.
Who's that guy that was on a ladder, very poshly, very well spoken, works in Australia? I don't know his name. He's that insignificant, but he's if you don't climb a ladder, you can't call yourself a window cleaner. And I just remember thinking, what a reptile. It was there speaks a man that has no fucking clue what he's on about.
I literally say the same thing, and it's like when I'm recording vocals straight on my laptop and they mess up, I can just go Control Z, undo, re-record. Whilst the person on tape machine's got to pause the tape machine, get scissors, cut and splice the vocal take together, get the special glue out. Mate, I've already finished, got another booking in, whilst they're twatting about with a reel of tape. Do you know what I mean? But there's it's both work, both get.
When they turn around and say as well, like again going back to the whole, people just move on. Right? So you don't, for the same reason, you don't see horses and carts, right, on the road. is the same fucking reason, okay, that, you know, you see people drive cars now. Time moves on.
Exactly.
People move on. There's a lost skill. We was talking about traditional. There is a lost skill, but there is actually. I watched a program about this ages ago, and it was about these people that made, you know, the globes. When you were in school, you got the globes and the maps and all that stuff. You used to make those by hand.
Yeah.
Now, if you want them made by hand, you have to go to Indonesia.
Yeah.
Right, because the skill that used to be an industry in this country.
Yeah.
Obviously, we did take over 25% of it, to be fair, but
Yeah.
it's more small island. Anyway, but it's a separate thing. But the thing is like I say, it's a lost skill, even though there was hundreds of thousands of people in the or certainly thousands of people in the UK dedicated their career to making that product. Now it's gone.
Yeah.
And the reason it's gone is because it's lost knowledge.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And the thing is, and it's the same thing with traditional. In my humble opinion, if you're doing traditional window cleaning and you so choose to do so, you should be able to charge whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
you want
for
that
sure.
traditional finish, you want that handcrafted trad, traditional clean, then put your hand in your pocket and deliver it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the same way, if you want a handcrafted Rolls Royce,
Exactly.
you're not buying that for the price of a fucking Volvo. So the thing is, it's all about value. End of the day, if you value that finish,
Exactly.
put your hand in your pocket and pay for it. The bottom line is, though, vast majority of people simply won't.
Exactly.
And so that I choose to focus on replicating. I choose to focus on volume.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's quality. I focus on quality and volume, whereas the other people focus on quality and charging high tickets. So it's all about volume and
Which is what we are, really.
100%.
We're at the other end of the divide there.
This is it. So you know, it's just
And they both work. And,
Exactly,
and
there's a space
you're not
for
wrong,
both.
I'm not wrong, you're not right, I'm not right. They just
The
both
thing
work
is-
for different
Exactly.
people.
When I clean a window with a Waterfed pole, is it clean? When you clean a window with traditional, is it clean?
Yeah, same end result.
The result is the same.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Pay your invoice. Job done. It doesn't
Exactly.
really. It's a means to an end.
Yeah, for
is all
sure.
it is.
Yeah, it's like it's the two disciplines, same in analog and digital. That's not the problem. It's the people that think,
perception.
but it's the people that think like one's right or one's wrong. Do you know what I mean? That's where the issue
But
is.
the irony is, though, the people that think that have, generally speaking, never done either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, getting back to what we said, like, what would I do differently if I started again? I would still have the same setup I got now. I would still utilise both. I wouldn't go all one way or the other. Like a mechanic has multiple spanners in his toolbox, you know?
Yeah.
I would still do both. I like the eclectic mix of work.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep it interesting as well. Yeah, for sure. No, I'll get you. Here's one. Haggling. Are you guys open to haggling with prices and things like that?
Yeah, I can always raise the price. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you go about hagglers, Chris?
Ooh, right. So, if a customer has a set idea of what they're prepared to spend, that's pretty common.
Yeah.
Right. So, in my humble opinion, what some people do is they make the mistake of thinking, right, do I need to compromise on the price and deliver the same amount? Right. My answer to that would be, this is the price. So let's say, for argument's sake, you want your windows doing.
Yeah.
And you've got an idea. You don't tell me what this is. So you've got an idea in your head what you will and won't pay for window cleaning in the get. So let's say it's 15 quid.
Yeah.
Let's say whatever, right? You won't go. Your brain won't permit you to go higher than that. Cool, right? I don't know this, but then I come and say, well, the job's 18 quid, and in your head you don't say it as much, but you say, well, that's 3 quid more than what I was prepared to pay.
Yeah.
And you might sort of ask me to compromise on the price, right? Now, I will compromise on the price, providing you compromise on the job sheet.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you go to a supermarket and your list of shopping is 100 quid,
Yeah.
right? You try getting them to fucking compromise on the value of that ticket, on the value of that trolley.
Yeah.
No, you've got to put something back. So the thing is, you go in there with 85 quid's worth, you're only walking out with 85 quid's worth. So the question is, what you're prepared to sacrifice. What is the less priority to you?
Yeah.
Right? So then if you put a certain item back, or you say, well, actually, I just want the front of the building done.
Yeah.
I'm not really bothered about the back of the building. It's like, right, okay, well, the front of the building would be a lower price. So in that sense, we both compromise.
Yeah.
But where a customer wants you to compromise on price without compromising on the value,
Yeah.
that's where I have a problem.
Yeah, I get that.
So I'm more than happy to negotiate a ticket. I'm more than happy to negotiate a price, but the customer has to meet me in the middle.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my.
I think that's fair. That's a fair way of going about it.
What about you?
I think this is the way we've built our businesses gives us that little bit of different angle when it comes to this. Prior to what I do now, which I'll come on to, if someone said, say I said it's £10 for the job, and they go, well, I've only want to pay 8. I was like, okay, well, which window don't you want done? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, if you're not paying for all the windows, then I'm not cleaning all the windows. It was as simple as that. And most of the time, they would just come back up to the 10.
Yeah.
It dawned on them like, oh yeah, of course, if I want less, if I want to pay less, I'm going to get less. But what I do now is, which deflects any negotiation, is I now have tiers. So I've got
What?
I've got budget focused tier, which some people are only bothered about the cost, and they want to get that cost down as low as possible. You got the other people that want the best that person has to offer, don't care about the price. Typically, you've got the one in the middle that wants the best value. So that's literally what I've got. I've got the essential clean, which is literally old school pane and seal, no frames. Then you've got what I'd call the signature one, which is going over the frames, going over the panes, clearing the seal. All good job. Probably what you do every single day, right? Every single client. And then I've got the elite, which is me going a bit deeper on the seals, adding a bit of sauce to it, secret sauce. And
I can't say that.
Some people just want to know they've had the best. And it costs a lot more than the other two. But when you come to me and go, what's the price? Well, it depends. There's your three choices. Are you a budget guy? Are you the best guy? Or do you want the best value?
See, I look at that and I can only pick holes in that a little bit. Nothing personal, but the way I look at it is I want every customer to be treated to the very same high standard.
But some people can't afford to.
Well, that's fine, but then they're not my customer. In the same way that Rolls-Royce don't sell minis. You know what I mean? Rolls-Royce have a standard, and they said this is our standard, right? And
But even they have levels within their high standard.
They do to a point, but like Rolls-Royce, generally speaking, the minimum ticket spend is going to be 150,000. So here's the thing: you go into that with the mindset of, right, well, I've got 150,000 pounds to spend. I want a Rolls-Royce. I want a Bentley. Cool, right? But here's the thing: is if you walk into a Rolls-Royce showroom with a Volvo budget, not that there's anything wrong with Volvos, but they're not the same types of customer. So here's the thing: it's like that. I equate what you just said there is the equivalent to a butcher trying to sell meat to a vegan. They're just different. It's a different market. It's a different dynamic. So my argument would be, I want people that want a Waterfed. I want people who either are indifferent to the method but want the same high finish, or I want people that say, no, I want a guy with this Waterfed pole, right?
But you're also getting people haggling, which I don't get because I've mitigated it.
But the thing is generally speaking, is if you target the right customer, you tend to avoid haggling altogether, because the majority of my customers now, they don't even look at it. They just go, so I'm talking about haggling in the very beginning of a business. When you're gathering customers, you will encounter all stripes of different customers. But as you get more refined and you refine your process, you soon find the vast majority of your customers, if you've done it the way I've done it, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but if you've done it the way I've done it, where we've got a customer who pays us 168 quid every single month to clean his windows. He's like, his attitude is, mate, just send me the invoice. He doesn't care about cost. He's like, just solve the problem. I have a problem, and I'm going to throw money at it to make it go away, because those are the sorts of customers that I tend to serve. And I'm not saying anybody else is inferior or whatever. It's just that in my opinion, they're easier to deal with. Because they're looking at it's a zero-sum game for them. I've got dirty windows. I sure as hell ain't going to do it. I'm working 80 hours a week. I'm not going to give up one day a week to go and clean my own windows. I am not going to abseil it with my 4-story townhouse to go and clean my windows. It's like, dude, I'll get a specialist in. Most people now will not get a mechanic. Will not fix their own car. Get a mechanic.
No, but do you want to know the hidden secret in the idea?
Right.
Most people don't choose the essential one because they don't want to be recognised as budget.
I get you.
True.
I get you.
True.
So most of the time, and it's actually marketed as the signature. That's what most people go for. But then what tends to happen is people voluntarily go, well, for the first clean, can we do an elite?
And then a maintenance clean thereafter.
And then the maintenance signature.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good way of doing it, isn't it?
So I haven't got to upsell the first clean because I've spoke to a lot of my customers that I've got like previous to now, and they said to me like, if you'd have put a first clean charge on there, I probably wouldn't have taken you on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because I gave them the option what they wanted to pick.
But then it's a numbers game, isn't it? So like, you're not going to. How can I put it? Yeah. So for us, again, I'll go back to what I was saying before. We have one standard, which is clean. Windows frame, sills and doors, as standard. Thanks very much. We will deliver the service on time, every 4 weeks, on the same day. Text you the night before, you know we're coming. It's not a mystery. You know what I mean? Bank transfer the payment at your which is convenient for you within 5 days of the clean.
Yeah.
Happy days, right? So every customer, in some respects, is treated the same.
Yeah.
But the value of that service, so there might be some priced higher, some priced lower, but everybody's treated the same. So everybody gets the frames cleaned, everybody gets the doors cleaned, everybody gets the windows cleaned. Generally speaking, it's every week, fortnight, or 4 weeks, because we're coastal and stuff like that. Fine. That's how we've chosen to operate, because if I turn around to my guys, and this is the other thing as well, it's about replication as well, right? So obviously, there are certain considerations I have that you don't.
Yeah.
And for the simple reason that I have staff. So keep things simple. And I'm not trying to gaslight staff or anything like that, but they have a simple process.
They can follow it.
It eliminates errors. Of
course.
So for example, if they turn around and say, oh, you know, well, it's so if let's say Adam's cleaning a window, or John or Paul or whoever's cleaning windows, you know, someone, you know, comes and taps me on the shoulder, yeah, mate, how much for mine? And he'll be like, give us 5 minutes. As soon as I've got done, I'll come and price it up for you. So does this funky thing, goes over, price up. What would you like? So is it just the front? Right, okay, front, you know, it's X amount. Okay, and we clean the windows, the frames, the sills, the doors. We come every 4 weeks on this day. So I can't get it done today, or if they can, they'll get it done. If I can't get it done, if I can't get it done today, I'll get it done 4 weeks on this day, or 2 weeks on this day, or next week on this day, right? Because they know when they're in the area. Why? Because all the information is displayed on the app.
Yeah.
So they know when they're next in the area. So it's outsourcing and letting lads deliver it. So I don't have to hold the hand through it and baby them. I just sort of say, well, yeah, if you can add it to the sheet, add it to the sheet. He's like, yeah, right, Roger. And you put it on the sheet.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, is if you treat every customer the same in terms of windows, frame, sills and doors, the lot, there's no tiers, there's no package or anything like that, I find it eliminates errors.
Yeah, I guess.
Because you're delegating that responsibility. There's only one person they're speaking to when they come to me.
But even if I was on my own, I have an idea of how long each job should take.
Yeah.
So I can plan better how many jobs I do that day. Whereas if I had different tiers and different horses for courses, it becomes not impossible, but it's just a bit more difficult. And then obviously what happens?
It's very minimal though. It is very minimal, the difference it takes.
But then we also set the standard to turn to the customer and say, look, that's the standard.
Yeah.
And they turn around and say, well, actually, Chris, today I don't want to pay so much, so just do the front. And it's like, well, no, hang on a minute. You wanted windows, frame, sills and doors front and back. You've signed up to that. So if you want to drop it down, you can do. So just understand that the price is affected, and it's not necessarily half for doing half as much. You know what I mean? So the thing is that for us, if let's say you have like an elite package every 4 weeks, and then the guy turns around and goes, oh, well, actually, you know what, today, mate, just do the little bits. Then obviously you've now got less money, and you now have to fill that gap if you want to earn the same amount of money. Whereas all I've got to do is just bring a job forward. I just find for me, it's a simpler way of dealing with it. Having a set price, a set system in place that everybody in the team understands, and they can replicate it at will. Whereas if it's like, oh, well, it's this much for this much and it's that much for that much, it's like, oh, do you want this doing? Do you want that? It's like, look, do you want the windows cleaned or not? Yes, no. If you want the windows done, this is how we do it.
Yeah,
and a lot of the times you take that out of the hands of the customer because they just want the problem to go away. They're not really interested in the ins and outs. They want a high quality finish, but they don't want to go down into the reeds. They're like, dude, just clean the window. You know what I mean? That's.
I think this could go back to the north-south divide.
Yeah,
because I just think culturally down south we expect tiers.
Right.
Like when I go to a hotel or a restaurant, I go to the nice restaurant. I can have their £15 burger.
Cool.
Or
question: if you only eat half it, do you get a refund?
No, I'm not about that bit. I'm in the restaurant. I either have one of their cheaper options because
Yeah.
that's all I can afford, or I go, I can have whatever I want. I'm going to get the T-bone.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's that option.
Yeah.
Rather than just going, well, McDonald's is
Yeah,
$6.99 for a Big Mac.
But
whatever it is.
one's a service business. The other is a restaurant with options, and the thing is you might fancy something on one day versus the next. You're talking about a different industries. I get what you're saying, but for me, I like just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Everybody wants the same. Treat everybody to the very same high standard. The same way that Rolls-Royce treat all their customers the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody that buys a Rolls-Royce is treated the same. It doesn't matter whether you're a roofer or a celebrity. Everybody gets treated the same. And obviously, if they then want, additions and add-ons, and that adds that increases the price.
Yeah, that's additionals. That's not.
That's
Not
additionals.
the same
But
as
your
tiers.
standard model is that.
Yeah.
Cool. You want that standard model. That standard model is going to cost you X.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you are or what you do. It's that much.
Yeah, for
Same
sure.
with Porsche and all this sort of stuff. There's fine. There are prices. So it's the same for a Porsche Carrera GT, whatever, in Preston is in London.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's a scheme. It's a pricing scheme.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, in my industry, pricing's really weird and wishy-washy. Like if I did fixed pricing like you, I'd be out of business a long time ago because
Yours is bespoke, isn't it?
yeah, and it's also like perceived value as well. So like so I treat every customer the same. It doesn't matter if you're a local punter that wants to record karaoke tracks or I'm working with a multi-platinum star. I'll give them and I'll try as my hardest as with both people. But like I have to price in a strange way where if I'm working with a local punter, I know, right, if this song releases, I probably won't get the money back in royalties as where if I'm working with like a top 20 artist. So I'll charge like the local musician an hourly rate and I'll only take 15% of what their song generates. But with label work, I actually won't charge up front at all a lot of the time. And I'll literally work basically free of charge until the royalties come in because I know I'll make more in the end. And like, for example, if I'm to make a backing track for someone from Blackpool who's not an established artist, it would just be 35 an hour. Whereas that exact same instrumental for someone who sounds to a major label is $3,500 per production. So it's like pricing is really weird for me. And like as I grow as a producer,
You'll probably find that's going to change in a decade.
Exactly.
10 years down the road, you'll have your niche planned out.
Your level will rise as well because your expectation will rise as well. So,
like I know some producers that were £1,000 per instrumental and now they're charging 15, and it's the same amount of time put in, and some of them sometimes it takes an hour per thing. Exactly. So it's like because it's less of a product or. To be fair, it's even less of a service because it's the same service. It's perceived and it's brand value. Like how I price is like how Gucci and Primark price. Do you know what I mean? It's the same fibers, it's probably from the same factory. Do you know what I mean? But it's just how you perceive it. So yeah, it's really different for how I do it. When I heard how you two price your businesses, it's quite interesting. Last question to round it off. What are the best ways or the ways that you guys have mainly built your client base, your customer base up?
You take that one first, go on.
What if we've answered this one? It's a bit of everything.
Yeah.
I think there's a problem with people trying to find what is the one thing.
Yeah.
There is no one. I'll tell you what one thing is. The one thing is being consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
Definitely. Whatever it is you choose to do.
Do
just keep
everything
doing it.
consistently.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so if you're going to put a video up online of you cleaning a window, put it into local chats, Facebook, or even on your basic Facebook page and just share it.
Yeah.
Encourage your friends to share it and stuff like that. Get your friends to invite other people to like your platform, like your Facebook and stuff like that. I mean, I've only got 1,200 people that follow my business, but that's local. So so the thing is, that's 1,200 people local to me that
Famous
actually
to a few.
Well, this is it. But the thing is, it's like, like you say, my vans drive around the local area that's recognisable.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he's a window cleaner. Cool. Whatever. So, they can do what they want with that information, but they can like, oh, I'll ask him, will I not?
Yeah.
Whatever. But it's brand awareness. So the thing is, if you're going to be present online, be present in the real world, be available, So, for example, like, you know, be approachable. So if someone, like, I mean, I used to have on the back of my, I don't know if you saw my old coat. Do you remember it used to say window cleaner on the back?
No,
so I used to have a coat. It was quite funny. I had a coat and it says, need a window cleaner, ask me for more.
Yeah.
Right? Right? No phone number, no nothing, right? And me and my girls, we went for a day out down the prom, actually, out the window beyond here. There's got the Cleveley's prom.
Yeah.
And we went out for the day. My girls, like, my daughters are like 4 and 2,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And I wore this coat, and there's a lady called, excuse me, hope you don't mind me asking, could I get a price for window cleaning?
Yeah.
And I was like, 100%, my love.
Yeah.
And the thing is the lady that was with her was like, well, of course he doesn't mind. It's written on his bloody coat.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's being approachable.
Yeah.
And like, you know, when you're out, if you're wearing a coat that says "ask me for more," and someone asks you for more, and you turn around, what the fuck do you want?
Yeah.
And obviously they're just gonna turn around and go, oh, he was rude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So obviously, it's being available. And giving everybody the time of day, and obviously, yeah, sure. Sometimes you don't want to be spoken to, and sometimes you want that privacy and all that sort of stuff. But you have to.
You wouldn't wear the jumper though.
You wouldn't wear
on
the
that
coat.
day.
Right? It's like on that day, leave me alone.
Yeah.
But if you if you're approachable most of the time, and people can see what you do, and they go, well, actually, I could do with a window cleaner.
Yeah.
You know, they identify the need and say, well, you know what, fine, we'll have him. You know what I mean?
Have you ever been to a place, back to a restaurant or a hotel, or where the case may be, and you've gone, I really enjoyed that. I want them to do well, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to recommending that fish and chips,
100%.
recommending that hotel. The trick is to become that.
Yeah, for sure.
So someone wants you to do well because of who you are, not what you do.
Yeah.
And that's the same for all of us.
It's like if you're a nice person, it goes back to what I was saying before. I actually had a conversation with a customer. Again, obviously, Adam's broke his leg, and I don't spend as much time on the tools as I used to, but this past week I have.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to a couple of customers, said, oh, Chris, I'm not seeing you for ages, mate, and blah, blah, and I was like, yeah, fine, you know. So she's like, I want to have a chat with you, and I'm thinking, when a customer says, I want to have a chat with you, she's conversation's got to go in one of two ways, either really, really positive, or really, really fucking negative. And at this point, I'm a bit like, please don't make my week any harder than it has to be, you know what I mean? I've already had a hell of a week at this point. And she said, can I just say, when you sent a guy to do my gutter fascia soffits 3 months ago, I've been meaning to say to you, can I just say, he's one of the nicest, kindest human beings I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And if we ever want that doing, can we please have him back?
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, cool. Yes, yes, they want me to succeed and do well because of my actions and me being empathetic and understanding them and being a good person. 100%. Not for what I do, for who I am.
Yeah.
Right. They want me to do well, but at the same time, it echoes that with your staff.
Yeah.
If that member of staff has gone above and beyond, then reward them.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if that customer turns around and says, you know what, Carl, such a lovely bloke, blah blah. Can I just say, he was one of the nicest human beings I've ever spoken to. Great guy. We'll have him back next time.
Yeah,
It's like,
for sure.
all right. I'll be like, 100%. I'll make sure I tell him. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then here's the thing: if they're gonna go out their way and tell you that. I guarantee you will not be the only person they tell. That will not be the only human being that hears that story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They always say that bad news travels faster than good news. And yeah, it does. But at the same time, I think when good news travels, it carries more weight than bad news.
It stays around a lot longer.
It stays around a lot longer, in my experience anyway. So 100%. You know.
And that's probably the main way I built up my customer base, because the way a lot of people view me is I'm like their final stop for producers, where in music as well, there's a lot of egos and there's a lot of just weird people. That's the best way.
You've never been on a window cleaning page, have you? It's like talk about gatekeepers and ego.
Oh,
shit the bed, you know.
But like, the main role of a producer is to serve the purpose of the artist. So if you want to come in and make an absolutely horrendous karaoke song that you're going to play at a wedding, you have to accommodate it. And then if you want to make something that you think would hit the charts, you've got to do it. There's some producers that have so much pride and ego where that karaoke punter will come in and they'll either try and shape them into something they're not and not accommodate it, or just turn them away or make them feel alienated. Like, a lot of my customer base now is people where they've tried loads of different producers, loads of different studios, felt dead uncomfortable. They've come to me and they're like, oh, thank God. Literally. And that's how I've retained a lot of my customers and got a lot of referrals. Do you know what I mean? I'd say like probably 80% of my income comes from that. Do you know what I mean?
It's the same for any business, though. It doesn't matter whether you do what you do.
Yeah.
if you have a business, you're there to serve a result.
Yeah.
But ultimately, how you go about that and making people feel comfortable and valued.
Yeah.
You know, because I guarantee you that people talk within certain circles, don't they? So old people, honest to God, there's some people, I swear to God, work for the SAS. I'm not joking, where they're like, curtain twitching and all this. What's Betty doing today? And all this sort of stuff, right? Good news travels just as fast as bad news to those people, because they will, if they speak in those circles, you want to get known in those circles, then treat one person in that circle well, and the good news will have a ripple effect in the same way that you've got someone who wants to come and do their karaoke, and it's only low level stuff, and it's not a career changing thing, and it's like, but they still need to feel valued,
of course.
And if you can accommodate that, you will stand out so much more. And it doesn't matter what industry it is, really, does it? I mean, it's like
absolutely.
Exactly.
I've been the receiving on that way too many times.
Yeah.
Way too many times. Like when I was younger, I used to look like really young. One of the reasons why I started to grow a beard was to have an older appearance. And I was a lot slimmer. I used to always wear vests and vests and shorts. So I never really looked a part, really. But I would end up in places like in restaurants or in a wine merchants or something that they're like,
you're out of place here, kid.
What's he doing here?
Yeah.
But I can afford to be there.
Yeah.
And I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm talking about. And it's only when they're like, can I help you?
Yeah.
Like, are you lost?
Yeah.
And then you come out with an answer or a question, and then sort of jump to you, like, you know what you're talking about. I'm like, see you later.
Yeah.
Going somewhere else.
All of a sudden, I have your attention, and it's like, well, you change your tune pretty quick, you know, sort of thing. So, fair one.
For sure.
Well, it was good. I like that. I like a few good questions there, to be fair. I like that.
Definitely. And I didn't have to break up the fight with the trad and Waterfed, so that's not too bad either.
It'll be off camera.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the tier pricing was closer to a
Yeah. That's funny, that. All right, well,
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for that, and catch you the next one.
Thanks again.
All the very best.